is come under my lash line, and that just reinforces the lashes so they look thicker than they really are. And then I'm going to go through the brow line. Look how that just, this is just a great palette overall. I mean, it's just so great. Just see how I just enforced the brow a little bit and the lashes. And if you wanted to, I'd do that on both sides. And then you can use that darker color on top of it. Since it has a little bit of spickles, you could do that underneath. Or, and then again, I'm just going to kind of fill in the brow a little bit. Just a little bit. With the same color. It just kind of helps it look a little filled in, and yet you can't really tell. It's not like it's a pencil or anything. It just kind of helps fill it in. And you can then use any leftover right on the lash line on the upper lash line. Or you can go into this darker color, like I said, right here, and use that. Tap it out really good, though, or you'll have a little fallout underneath your lashes. And do that on both. And I still feel like there's enough. There. And that is it. That is the palette. I would call that one my #1 pick. And I hope you're enjoying this pick one series. Actually, I think it just went into a second video. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep going. So that's #1 pick of palette. Now I'm going to do #1 pick of what goes with the eyes. This will be the eyes, 1 and 2. Okay? So I'll use that same mirror. Make sure I'm blended out real good on the edges. Okay? One of the ways you can do this, you can do this with a blending brush. Again. And then, just to make sure you don't have too much over here in your crow's feet, especially for older ladies, use the fat part of your hand, or the meaty part of your hand, I should say, and just go back and forth. And see how it just kind of, anything that was there, it just kind of gets rid of it. You'll need to wipe your hands off afterwards, obviously. Just like that. Why? Because I want to have a perfect palette. It doesn't make like a line because it's too wide, but it gets anything that was there. Yeah. Okay. Why am I doing that? Because I want to give you my #1 pick one. Most of you already know this. Do I have the brand spanking new one? Just bought a new one. It's going to show you. There it is, yeah. My old one still works fine, but this is the DHC Liquid Eyeliner EX, and it's Perfect Pro Makeup. And y'all, this is hands down the most perfect little brush. I mean, it's like a nib, but it's a brush. Look how thin that is, how tiny that is. And it's perfect. Now, if you want to build it, you can make yourself a huge fat cat eye. But if you just want to do something small, you can do that too. And I am going to do kind of in between. And then you go from about 1/4 back to there, and then 1/2 back to there. And then get right in front of the brow. Now you can stop there, you can thicken it up. I'm going to go all the way in on this time because I did this light color on the lid. I do want to have a little bit more liner look. And because the tip is so tiny, you can get the front end with the tip and go right into the tear duct without actually going in the tear duct. And that is just so pretty. Now I'm going to clean that up just a little bit. Alright, there. And that's fine. That is just like perfect. Look at the difference that makes in your eyes, y'all, to have liner. I just think it's so pretty. Now the tough thing is, as y'all well know, is getting it the same. Especially for some reason, and I think it's because I'm right-handed, it's a little harder to get this not to be too thick on this side. I don't know why. I think I do it a little heavier because I'm right-handed. Or maybe because I'm in a hurry or I'm talking. Oh, I'm doing this. And just look at the difference before I get there. And it's so easy to use. So easy. Actually, because I'm right-handed, I could just go all the way in without having to come over. Oops. I did do a little extra there, but that's okay. Just even it up. Look at that, because that tip is so small, look how easy that was to get the very tip in. And again, you're gonna almost rest it on your lash line to make sure there's no flesh color showing through, or if your skin moves because it's wrinkledy like mine just did, then just go back in and where it missed, go ahead and fill that back in. And then look as best as you can to make sure that it's even. So hands down, I would not do without this product anymore. I mean, this is, I'm gonna buy an extra, and this is new. I still have this one right here, and it still has product in it. And I'm gonna buy another one. That's how much I love this product. Now, for on the waterline, hands down, pick one. What do y'all think it'll be? If you do not know this, you do not know me. It Cosmetics No Tug Waterproof Gel Eyeliner. And it says it's clinically proven. Look at this. I'm not even having to lower, like pull against this. I can do this without even touching the skin. That's because it's gel, so it glides very smoothly. And really, I could have done that in one swoop and been finished. I just want to make sure it's nice and smooth and I didn't miss anything. Did you notice I did not have to pull the lip down to do that? This is just the best waterline eyeliner crayon there is. And it's waterproof and it's anti-aging. Look at this. I'm not even, I can go right on the inside and it's so smooth. It just glides on the skin. Look at that. Absolute perfection. That is the best all-time #1 pick. If I had to pick one, the eye palette is Tom Ford 03 Cocoa Mirage. The eyeliners are DHC Liquid Eyeliner EX. I will link these below. I'm going to start linking things below because I forgot. I've not ever done that. And then It Cosmetics No Tug Waterproof Gel Eyeliner Crayon. So these are my pick ones. And I wanted to do eyes all on one, or now I'm into two. But there is a product that is a pick one, and I have tried to get around it and tried to get around it. Y'all are going to know what it is, but it is a mascara. Now, I am going to show you my drugstore, because I'm going to do some pick one drugstore, because a lot of the stuff's high end that I'm doing. And so I know the first thing that y'all are going to say is, Beth, do pick ones that we can afford. I know. I'm not rich. I have to save up for this stuff if I want it, and it does go a long way. So, my pick one mascara. Y'all have got to know what this is. You got to know. Is Chanel Inimitable Waterproof Mascara. I'm out. I just placed an order. I'm so anxiously awaiting it. But y'all seen it. I will link it below. You go to Chanel to get it, or Nordstrom, or just any major department store who carries Chanel products. Eyelash curler always before mascara, and I would say this one right here, CoverGirl, you can get this at the drugstore. Hands down, it's the best one. Now I have a Chanel one, and I was going to get a Charlotte Tilbury one, but I thought, you know what, seriously, I think I've used an Ulta one. This is the best ever eyelash curler. And do you see how it just pops some? You just put the base of it on your lid and it pops the lashes right up and you clamp down. And it doesn't have that ridge on the end. I'm not quite sure why all the other ones do. I don't know if it's just, to keep it from, going up against your, and then remember, pull it out a little bit and curl back towards the socket, and it'll curl it a little more. Instead of just straight up like an L, it'll be more like a backwards C. But just hands down, this is the best one. And I always think that anybody, unless you have naturally curly hair and your eyelashes also are naturally curly. I remember once Elle Fowler had her makeup done and someone said, why do you curl your eyelashes? Your eyelashes are super curly. Well, then you wouldn't need one. And you don't want to use it if you don't have to, just because it will pull out a couple. Now, that's only because they're probably going to come out anyway. But since I do not have my all-time favorite pick one mascara, I'm going to say from the drugstore, I had to pick between two, and it's Maybelline Pumped Up Colossal Waterproof or Lash Blast Volume Waterproof. This is more of a comb, this is more of a brush, and I used to be on the orange side. I've gone pink. I've gone pink, y'all. I'm liking the Maybelline. And so you always tip your lashes first so that you can comb out to a liquid that's out there waiting for it, and make sure that you don't have little blonde tips because you missed them. And then I start from the end and go out. You can go out in however you like to do it. Just make sure when you're on the end, you kind of push some of the little lashes towards the nose, straight up on the lid, and then out. And then the very tip one, tip it so that it goes kind of that way. So that it kind of fans your lashes out. And I even tip the lower ones. Now some people don't even do their lower ones, and they say that if you tip them, you really are going to make them stand out. Well, that's exactly what I want. I like that. Some people don't. If you don't, that's fine. Every woman can decide how she wants to wear her own makeup, you guys. So if that's not you, that's fine. But for me, I like that look. And now I usually do at least 2 passes. But see, this is just, it's got pretty good coverage even on first pass. This does tend to dry out a little quick, and therefore it crumbles. And that was my complaint with the L'Oreal Voluminous. Or Voluminous, however you want to look at it. Tip towards the nose. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All wiggling does is make the lash kind of go side to side on the wand, and so you get all the little, oops, there came out a lash. Oops. Your lashes come out every day, y'all, so don't think it's because you're wearing mascara or using an eyelash curl. I don't care. Your eyelashes will come out anyway. So that's at 1 pass, and I think it looks very nice. And that's it. Pick one would be this Maybelline Pumped Up Colossal. So I hope you are enjoying Pick One series, and I'll see you again on my next video.